I am personally against this genetics explanation for why some people are impacted more by COVID than others, but I got a request to look at this HLA association with asymptomatic COVID infection. And this is the Nature article that all these different news outlets are referencing, and I just want to start off by saying this is a junk study. I do not know how it got published in Nature. So the first thing is that they come in with a hypothesis, a targeted hypothesis. They postulate that the human leukocyte antigen, HLA loci, may be the underlying process that mediates asymptomatic infection. This is important when we're thinking about statistics later on. Next, they say that we enrolled about 30,000 individuals for the study. This targeted HLA genotyping data was available. And they further filtered this down by using a smartphone-based study to track COVID symptoms and outcomes, and they filtered this down to about 1,400 individuals. And these were largely unvaccinated individuals that reported positive test for COVID. However, when we look at these, so from these asymptomatic individuals, the 14,000 number, actually 1,292, so 91% about, were symptomatic, while only 136 of them were asymptomatic. So this is actually their study size right here, this 136, which is much lower power than they are actually reporting on earlier in the study. They're making it seem like it's very impressive in a high number of people when the question and interest is only 136. So next, let's pop back to that point where they are saying that we think that people with this HLA loci are gonna be asymptomatic. So this is a targeted one-sided test question. Yet they run two-sided statistics. For those unfamiliar on how two-sided statistics work, basically this is when you're saying, I think this thing will have an impact, and I don't know if it'll have a positive impact or a negative impact. So you look at both sides. But when you're saying, oh, I think that there's a one-sided impact where I think that this gene variant will be related to asymptomatic, that is a one-sided test. So you're saying that I think that people that have this variant are going to not have symptoms. Well, then you would be looking only one way in your statistical test. So that would be a one-sided test. So already we're seeing that their statistical analysis is highly flawed because they're not doing their statistics in a way that they are supporting with their initial hypothesis. So remember, it was 136 actually asymptomatic individuals. And what they're doing here is they're saying 1 in 5 individuals, 20% who remained asymptomatic after infection, carried this gene loci. I always think loci because I'm like locus, but it's loci, that's how you pronounce that. So only 20% of the 136 individuals actually have this loci. I'm lazy, so let's do it this way. 136 times 0.2. That's 27 individuals approximately that have this gene loci that were asymptomatic. Next, remember 1,292 are symptomatic. So we're saying 9% of the people that had symptoms carried that gene as well. So let's break out that calculator again. 1,292 times 0.09. That's 116 individuals. You're trying to convince me that 20-something individuals versus 116, that's gonna, like, this is such biased presentation of the data. This is beyond ridiculous. And I had more stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I'm just gonna stop here because like this is such a bad study. Shame on you authors here. Like this is just such a clear manipulation of the data to try and get something across.